Greetings from the EnviroPro bunker. This is Tom with EnviroPro. We're hoping everyone stays safe. And today we're going to talk about this spray and pray thing that we've seen. It's been on the news a few times. I'm seeing lots of Facebook ads for it. And basically, what it is a roofing contractor or an exterminator or a painter or whoever that bought a spray gun and some chemical has gone from being an expert in putting a roof on your home or an expert in removing roaches from your home or an expert from painting your house to now they're microbiology majors and they have determined the foolproof method to disinfect the world. Uh, we've seen this kind of thing before with chemicals. And what we're going to do today, we're going to talk a little bit about how these chemicals come about, the biology behind it, the way that the surfaces should be treated, and we're going to talk a little bit about cost and third-party evaluation. So, guy buys his spray gun and some of his chemical. Uh, Back when mold first started to be an issue, we were getting calls almost every week from a guy that said, "Hey, you know what? We found out this magical chemical that was originally developed to get rid of anthrax. Now it works on mold." And then when meth labs became a big deal, now it works on meth. Well, now that corona is a big deal, now it works on corona. So the truth of the matter is, the EPA has a huge list of chemicals that are approved as a disinfectant for the coronavirus. The majority of these chemicals are made by someone else. So you'll hear some guys talking about, well, we use Shockwave, we use Shockwave. Well, Shockwave is not made by the people that have Shockwave on the label. Those are the people that are marketing that chemical formula. That chemical formula has other names also, several other names. So we want to look at the EPA registration. Uh, a lot of times it's going to be approved. I mean, these guys, most of these chemicals that have a disinfectant property to it have some type of EPA approval. The dwell time, which is how long the chemical needs to stay in order to be effective, is between 2 and 10 minutes. So when you have people talking about, well, we can disinfect your home, they have to make sure that chemical stays in contact with that surface for, let's just say, 10 minutes. Let's go with the majority of them. It's 10 minutes. There's a couple that are shorter, but let's just keep it simple with the 10 minutes. So it has to stay wet for 10 minutes. Now, the other thing is the surface has to be clean. If the surface is not clean first, the chemical can't do its job and protect things. And one of the issues we have, especially this time of year, we've got pollen going everywhere. We've got mold flying all over the place, and we have bacteria. So if I was a computer cool kid, I would be able to bring up uh, slides from my one of the classes I teach about the biology of these little things. But since I'm not a computer genius, we're going to have to go with things like this. So this is one of the yeah, there we go. This is one of the slides, and this is mold. So what I want you to see here is it's approximately 1 to 200 microns in size. Now, there's a special bonus for whoever can tell me what kind of mold that is. But anyway, 1 to 200 microns in size. So, what's a micron? Uh, Basically, a micron is if you pluck a head out of your hair and sliced it 60 times, one slice is approximately a micron. They're super, super tiny. Now, in the microbial world, 1 to 200 microns is pretty big. When we talk about HEPA filtration, it's down to zero point 0.3 microns. So with this talk about masks and respirators and things, you'll hear them talk about zero point 0.3 microns because that's what the N95 respirator is supposed to filter down to. So now we're going to have bacteria. Now bacteria is it's a lot smaller. It's zero point 0.3 to 60 microns. Now, I'll give you an idea. you can see this 400 million number, 1 grain of sugar. So the other thing about bacteria, by the way, is when people say, they have sex like rabbits, it really ought to be sex like bacteria, because one bacteria can become 70 billion in 12 hours. So half a day. That's a lot. Now, those two things are living organisms. So let's talk about this virus. So what is a virus? And this is not the coronavirus, by the way. They're the smallest. Is this on there? Can you guys see that? Okay. It's the smallest of all biological entities. Look at the size here. That's really tiny. If you notice, it's actually smaller. It's actually smaller than the arrestability of the respirators that we're talking about. So the problem is this gets on the surface and it hangs out until either it's transmitted into a human, or something covers it up, or it gets moved, whatever it is. But it has to have a host to survive. So if the surface is dirty, or let's say mold spores came in or pollen came in, if you don't think pollen gets over thing, can cover something quickly, go out and look at your car after you cleaned it off in the morning. Clean it off at night, go look at it in the morning, see what it looks like. And that's just the wind. Now, this stuff flies with even less wind. So they can get moved around. That's why it's important. There's dust. There's a lot of reasons why you need to have a clean surface before you disinfect it. But what happens is these guys that do the spray and pray, they don't disinfect. They don't clean anything first. They spray their magic juice. They charge you a couple $100. Does it work? Does it not? I don't know. But what I do know is anybody that's a professional, the CDC, the American Industrial Hygiene Association, all these guys say start with a clean surface. So there's lots of other people that say that too. Common sense. If you have an IQ higher than an eggplant, start with a clean surface. So we have two groups of contractors. We have the spray and pray guys. They're coming in for a couple $100, maybe $300. They're spraying. They're happy. They're spraying. They're charging you some money, but they're not cleaning anything first. So if you're going to have these people come into your house, you need to clean all your surfaces first if you want the spray that they use to be effective. Now, here's the thing. Let's think about that for a second. I just cleaned my entire house with probably some type of disinfectant so they can come in and disinfect it. You can buy a lot of Lysol for $300. It's on the approved list. You can buy a lot of household products that are approved for cleaning COVID. Now, if you're in a commercial setting, a medical facility, a nursing home, commercial building, it's a little bit different. But if you're going to clean your house, clean your house. Just having somebody come in and fog something isn't going to do you as much good as making sure as your surfaces are cleaned properly first. If you're going to go through that much trouble to clean the surfaces first, so that their spray is going to be effective, the magic spray is going to be effective. How about this? How about you just keep it damp a little bit longer, 10 minutes, same thing they do, and then save that money and use it to buy toilet paper. I don't know. Actually, everybody quit buying toilet paper because we're running low and I'm getting tired of not finding it at the store. All right. So, what about commercial buildings? What about the medical facilities, the nursing homes, things like that? Well, you probably want to have a hygienist develop a protocol. And this is where the good contractors that are doing disinfecting separate themselves from these spray and pray guys. They're basically using the same chemical, but it's how they apply it. And it's the science behind how they use it. A good contractor is not going to just go in and spray something and say, here you go. It's going to cost you more money because they're going to clean that stuff first. They're going to clean it because they know you can't disinfect a dirty surface. They'll have a hygienist, come up with a plan to say, okay, how about we do this? So, like in the instances of a call center, we have all the employees before they leave, before the area gets sanitized, they empty their desks. We had another client where we took the we took the we shrunk the area that they were working in. So basically, we kind of sealed those other areas off. Which, by the way, depending on the hours or the days that this virus can stay on the surface, if we shut that area down and nobody goes in it, then they're not contaminating that area. So we're shrinking the areas that could possibly main, create contamination while maintaining safe social distances. And then we give them a protocol, say, here's what the contractor needs to do. Here's what the client, the the hospital, the nursing home, whatever it is, the car dealership. Here's what you guys need to do per shift to help maintain that you have this taken care of. And then then contractor can come in, they can do their disinfecting. It's on clean surfaces. We have an ongoing maintenance that makes sure those things are being taken care of. And how do we know at the end that what the contractor did was effective? We have something called post remediation verification sampling. Now, I've already done videos on this before, so I don't want to take a lot of time with it right now. It is a service that we can provide. Actually, so is writing the protocols. Now, should we do post surface sampling after every disinfecting treatment? Yes, because my son wants to play hockey and it's expensive. But the reality of it is, you know, why don't we show that the method that they used was effective the first time, and then maybe if there's an issue later. If they're following the protocol that was created and we know that they're doing it, and the business, whatever entity it is following the recommendations as far as schedules for wiping down touch points and things like that, and we show that was effective. I don't know how often we really need to show that again and again and again, unless there's an issue that pops up. The other reason you do post remediation verification sampling is so the contractor proves to you, the client, that their method was effective. Otherwise, it's just we're spraying a magic chemical, praying it works, praying you don't check up on them, whatever the case may be. The cost difference, 200, $300 for a spray and pray guy, and it's not a lot of money unless you're doing it in your house, and that takes money out of your groceries. It takes money away from your mortgage. It takes money away from, the vacation you're going to take when this is over. Uh, for the commercial guys, once in a while, maybe periodic testing, maybe every couple of weeks, just to show the process is working. I'm not saying test every day, although I jokingly say you do, but realistically, it's not cost effective for that either. What is cost effective? Having your surfaces cleaned, having them disinfected, make sure you maintain it, periodic uh, sampling, following the protocol, things like that. It's all simple stuff. It's not rocket science, but it drives me crazy when I see these people making promises to the public, and worse yet, getting media attention when they're doing something that's really, we're not sure how effective it is. I'm sure there's some value to it, but it's really not the way it's supposed to be done. And there's some of these guys that are saying, well, we're following the CDC guidelines. We're doing this, we're doing that. No, you're not. If you're not cleaning the surfaces first, you're not. If you're just spraying your magic juice wearing a paper mask, you're not. I've seen all kinds of variations. I've seen we're wearing Tyvek suits, gloves, goggles, and a bandana. Or it just runs the gamut. I don't want to go into the whole thing. My message to you guys today is be smart about this stuff. I'm not really sure that the disinfecting in your home is going to be of much value because, like I said, by the time you spend all the time cleaning it, you're done. As always, we're available for questions. Please like our videos. Please forward any questions. Please stay safe. Use some common sense. Let's get through this. Have a great party. This is Tom from EnviroPro saying have a great day.